But he'd already had his mind made up about the vaccine anyway. But when you have like certain health issues, from what I uh, heard about it and different things, that getting the vaccine is not a good idea. Because it could, I guess, react to maybe meds that you're taking, or
Hmm.
it could do whatever, and could be harmful to you. So I think it's best if we do our research and find out about it first before we like, oh, I ain't getting that vaccine because people dying from that thing, and oh, I'm gonna get it because if we don't get it now, then we'll have to get it later. No, nobody said that. It's actually a choice. If you want to get it or not. Nobody can technically nobody can make you take the shot. And remember when they first came out with it, and people were like, well, they're going to be at in every state. They'll have officials out in every state and telling you have to sign these papers, and if you don't have your paperwork saying that you got the shot, they're going to give you the shot regardless. And I'm like, so they're just going to have people stationed where, to just make sure that everybody take the shot. But like I said, a lot of times I think we go off of what we heard
Hearsay. Hmm.
on, through other people instead of getting, the facts about it. Me personally, I haven't had a flu shot in since I was in my 20s. And the one time that I did get a flu shot, the next couple of days later, I was homesick with the flu. And it doesn't happen like that for everybody, but for some people it does. And I did get sick, and I haven't taken a flu shot since then, which is, my personal opinion as to why I don't really want to take the vaccination, because I don't want to turn around and, nothing else happens, But, other than that, like I said earlier, everybody's got their own opinion when it comes down to getting this vaccination and different things like that. And then, people having to get it the first one and then turn around and get another one. If they have the cure from the first one, then why? My question is, why did they have a second one? So, everybody has their own opinion about it.
That's true. Like I said, that's what the conversation is about. What is your opinion about it? So that's what's on the table today. I think certain people need it and some don't. I don't think everybody needs to get it. And as of right now, like I said, it's not mandatory. It's definitely not mandatory. Now, some jobs try to make it seem like it's mandatory, but it's not mandatory at all because they're still trying to approve some of the different companies' versions of it. Then they're talking about these different strands that have a different. I don't know if the mutation is a proper word, but there's different types of COVID that are still yet developing as well. So they're trying to make sure that whichever vaccines they approve will be able to deal with these pop-up strands that they calling them as they're coming up. It's still a developing virus. It's not settled as one thing. So you could take something that could uh, help you with one type of the virus, and another type come out, and you got to get a whole another different shot. So it's no guarantees. It's really no guarantees. And I don't know how much they'll have to dispense before people's tension can kind of calm down because we're in a very tense state. But there's a lot of people, like I said, the elderly and those that are on the front line that really need to take it because they're dealing directly with people that they know have COVID. And how else, if you got a vaccine that can help, it's a choice. It's definitely a choice. But if they ever go to a point where the COVID vaccine becomes a normal part of mandatory vaccinations like they have for children to get into school and public areas like that, it could become a situation where you have to get it. Most of the country wants it. Most people do want it. And like I said, if you have those underlying health issues and you are at a job that you have to go around all kinds of multiple people, be in large groups and stuff, yeah, vaccination ain't gonna hurt you. but at the same time, they're still
Right.
developing vaccinations, so you don't know which is better than other. Like I heard a good question on the news earlier, was like, if you get the first shot of one type of vaccination, would it hurt you to get a second shot of a different type, or would that help? And they're doing studies on that right now, trying to figure out, is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Generally speaking, the guy was saying it might be a good thing because one covers one type, the other one might cover a different strand or a different type of the virus, a different version of the virus. So it's still very up in the air. There's no definite questions. It doesn't seem like there are no real definite questions that are fully answered, that they can actually say, this is it, this is what you need, this is going to work. So just like most vaccinations, which I learned in my job that I'm working now, is that even with flu shots, we call them flu shots, but that's not the name of the medication. And there are actually several different types of medications that are used as flu shots. So like when people are calling their insurance to see if it's covered, we can't even let them know until you tell me what that medicine is, because you don't look it up as flu shot. You have to have the name of it. Like if you're getting a shingle shot, the actual medication is called Shingrix. So you can look up Shingrix, but you can't look up the shingles vaccination or the shingle shot. Just like you can't look up the flu shot. Just like so, and I say that because some people might hear that there's different types of vaccinations for COVID. They're like, why is so many different? It's different vaccinations for flu shot. You just don't know that because you just say, I'm gonna get the flu shot. There's not one thing called the flu shot. There's different medicines that can be used to help fight the flu.
But everybody don't know that is different medicines or
Right.
names like that for the flu shot, because just like the other day, I think I told you, I got a message, email from the kid's doctor, and it was like, they can, if we were going to let them come in and get the flu shot. They didn't give like a specific name or anything like that. They just simply said the flu shot. So of course my answer was no. They're not coming in for that. And so it's not like everybody knows that there is a difference, in the specifics of it being a particular name for it.
Right.
So so when it comes down to it, like I said, it's everybody's personal opinion, on if that's something that they want to do, but if you have a lot of underlying health issues, you definitely want to consult with your doctor and different things like that first before you start taking all these extra medicines, and because every medicine doesn't react good with one another. And we know that, when we take one medicine and then we turn around a couple hours, take something else, and next thing you know, we're feeling either sick or some of them just make you feel bad or worse, so you have to make sure that you're consulting with your, what you call it, doctor, your primary care physician, and different things like that. And you don't want to just be going and say, okay, well, I'm just going to get the shot, and then you don't know how it may react to maybe some other medicines and stuff that you're taking. But like I said earlier, to each his own. I'm not here to tell nobody, no, don't get it, or yeah, you should get it now. I'm not here to tell nobody that, because I have my, how you say, I have my thing about it.
Opinion.
Yeah, and I have, a certain way I feel. I'm like, I don't know about
it. What is your feelings on it?
I just don't know about it, because I'm not really, I'm just not with it, for the simple fact that I'm afraid, for the simple fact that the one time I did get the flu shot is when I was sick. And I don't know if anybody ever had the flu. I can't speak for nobody else except for me. But that was like the worst. I think I've been in the bed for like 3 or 4 days. That was like the worst thing I've ever felt in my life. It was like I couldn't hardly breathe. It was pressure like right up in here, in this little area here, like my lungs were constricting.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my body was hurting. I when I get up to go to the bathroom, it was terrible. It was like I was in pain trying to walk to the bathroom. And once you've been laying down for a while, you tend to get dizzy. You get dizzy and off balance. And that's how I was. I was dizzy. I was off balance. I was super hot all the time. It was like a whole lot that was just going on. I had a massive headache, and it was like, oh my God, I just felt like it was no relief ever gonna come. And from what I hear about some people who said that they had the COVID, and they have symptoms that are similar to the flu. So that makes me a little skeptical, because like I said, that having the flu was never a good feeling to me, and it's never something that I want to experience again. Which is one of the reasons why, if anybody knows me, especially the people at True Foundation, one thing they know is if you have a cold, if you got a runny nose, if your kids are sick, I ask everybody to stay away from me. Now, what some people probably don't know, and I don't really talk about, is I actually, for a long time, I've had the gift of healing for a long time. And so when people have these sicknesses and different things, and I get too close to them, I come in contact with them, it's now on me. And somebody made a comment to me one time and saying, I had to put them in their place once they said it, and they make it seem like, oh, well, you ain't prayed up because things shouldn't attach itself to you like that. And I'm sitting there, I was ready to go all the way off, like, let them have it, okay? But you have to be careful with the things that you say to people, because let me tell you something. I try to stay away from people when they're sick, or stay away from people when they got an illness going on, because I pick it up real easy. And it takes me a minute to get it off of me. Not like it's not going to go away, but it takes a minute for it to get it off of me, And so I try to let people know, whenever you got a sickness or something going on, to keep your distance. Not because I'm like, oh God, yeah, I'm better than anybody. No, I know me, and I know what's going on with me. You understand? I don't like for people to get that close to me, especially being that I work with children. And so, like I told y'all earlier, I work with children. And first, one of the little kids in my class came to school with a runny nose. First thing I said is, oh Lord, here we go. So, we have to have a mask, near us. We have to have it on, when we signing them in and checking their temperatures and stuff in the morning time. We take all the precautionary measures when they're coming into the building. But just the kicker, if their parents had already done doped them up with some kind of medicine and thing, maybe late that night or first thing in the morning, then 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna come in like that. But after a couple of hours, when that medicine is wearing off, now they look sick. Now they look sickly, and some of them come in, and after a while their nose is running like crazy. And so we had a few children in my class. They came in and they were sick. They had a cold. They had the runny nose, the nasty runny nose, and they were sneezing all over the place. I said, oh my God, these kids got to go home. I put my mask on. I started washing down everything, washing my hands. And I got this little spray that I ain't supposed to spray when they're in there. But I was like, listen, my health is important too. So I sprayed the disinfectant spray in there. I get my bleach bottle. I started wiping down some stuff. But it wasn't helping, because the kids were still there and still sneezing on stuff. And every time they touch something, or because first thing little kids do is they pick up stuff and where go at, and they mouth. And so now I got to touch all of this stuff and got to put it away and put it in the sink and stuff like that, and bleach them down. And so it was just a mess, and it was a mess. And that's how come, I have this cold, in which in all actuality is really gotten better. Because my nose was like, oh Lord, my nose was just running real bad for the past couple of days. And then like now I just only have this cough, that's in my chest, and like, and all people say, that's that chest cold. So that's pretty much what it is. And I feel a little winded, but it is what it is, And so, like I say, I try to make people stay their distance, especially because I know as much as I love kids, and I know how much kids be loving me, and they be wanting me to pick them up and stuff like that. I just can't when they have a cold and different things like that. But I say all that to say this. that's the reason why I don't want to do the vaccination, for the simple fact that I don't want to turn around and get sick like I did with the flu. You understand what I'm saying about?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because it's possible, because most of the vaccines, and most vaccines actually work like that, where they're actually administering a certain amount of the virus into your system, that your system can build up immunities towards the virus. So a lot of times there isn't a certain amount of virus in the vaccination. That's how vaccinations work, period. So that's just the science part of it. You know, I think in my opinion, like I said, it's nothing that I feel I need to take. I don't deal with people. I don't go. I work from home. I have no need to be vaccinated. Now, my opinion might be totally different if I worked at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? If I worked in places where I got to deal with a bunch of people all the time, and different people in my face, and I got to go through all the precautions, and I got to wear a mask all day, I got to wear gloves all day, I might feel totally different. But just for me, as for my life and my lifestyle that I live now, I don't have a need. I don't feel like I have a need to take it. There's no sense of urgency in my mind at all to take it. Now, I would not hinder anybody else, because, like I said, you're the only person who know your situation. Just like you were giving your example, you're the only person who know your situation. It's a voluntary thing. So even when, before social distancing, I didn't do a whole lot of going to people's houses and being all, every now and then we might get together with church. As far as church is a concern, that I would like to go back to regular church. But as far as just being in people's face and hugging and touching, and so that's not a big concern outside of my household for me. But like I said, you have to assess not only your lifestyle, but you got to take in consideration where you are in your health. You know what I'm saying? What kind of underlying issues you have, or just like you made a good point. Before you even decide on taking a vaccine, first of all, you need to know which vaccine you're taking, what's in it. I'm not going to jump in the line because I see a long line out here, and they say, "Oh, this is the vaccine line." I'm not just going to go jump in the line.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Like they giving out free lunch. I'm not just going to jump in the line and say whatever they giving out, I want some too. No, that's not even my mentality. So I would implore people, do your research, find out which vaccines are coming to your area, because I think that's something you need to know as an individual. Who is the manufacturer of this particular vaccine that's coming to my area? What does it do? How many times do I have? How many shots do I have to take? What's in it? Tell me what's in it so I can look it up, because we got information is plentiful. So there's nothing stopping you from finding out. You can go online right now and pull up vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, and it'll give you a plethora of names and companies that are either already past testing and are being administered, or are still yet to get the green light for. Because like when I said the Johnson & Johnson, I just read that yesterday, that Johnson & Johnson has a vaccine that they're waiting to get the final approval on, and theirs is supposed to be a little better, I guess, than the one that they're administering now, which takes 2 doses. Theirs they can do in just 1 dose. I don't know. That doesn't sound crazy to me, because when I take insulin, and certain brand of insulin I was taking, I had to take it in 2 doses. I had to take 40 units in the morning and 40 units in the evening. I got changed to another type of insulin, which is Tresiba. My doctor said I don't have to take Tresiba in 2 doses. I can take it's the type that it is. I can take it in the full 80 units a day. I can take it in 1 shot. So I understand from a medical standpoint a lot of things that they're saying. But like I said, that comes from me working in the medical field, as well as being having health issues myself, that I deal with medicines and stuff for myself personally.
But that's my thing with it, though. If if they gonna give out the vaccination and they say, well, certain people can get it, and then they only have to take the 1, but then is another group that it has it, but they have to take 2. Why everybody just don't have the same vaccination?
Well, it's about getting enough vaccination to everybody. You can't have one company producing everybody's vaccination because how long would that take? How would you keep up with production? Because, like, remember, this is not a city or state incident. This is the world. So these companies have to administer. It's going out to every country, every everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take time to get everybody, uh, whether they get vaccinated or not. It's going to take time for us to get the country, the world, back to a state of feeling like we all right, we safe now.
I think even after they give out the vaccinations and different things like that, I feel like people's mental is already gonna be at a state where it's like I'm just still not gonna take no chances. I'm still gonna have on my mask. I'm still gonna do all these extra precautionary measures that I've already been doing because people's mental is already gonna be at a state where they can't just not thinking about the COVID, because people are still gonna just be thinking about it.
Of course, some people are going to still be in a state of fear or to a certain extent or panic or have that type of anxiety. But like I said, the only thing that eliminates that is education, knowledge. If you sit in your corner and you don't research, you don't try to find out what that vaccination is or what's the difference between this and the less information you have, the more anxiety you're going to have.
That's why the people perish, right?
Right. So it's and that's the important thing that I really want to get across. If anything is getting across tonight is the message is that educate yourself. Don't sit and make up in your imagination what you think. You know what I'm saying, from bits and pieces that you might have heard people talking about, or you might have heard something on the radio, you might have heard something on TV, and then you mix that up in a cup with full of your imagination, and now you think somebody trying to kill you with a vaccine, because that ain't gonna do you no good. That's gonna keep you living in a state of fear and a state of high anxiety, and that's not a state of peace. You're not living a good life if that's the state of mind state that you're in. So we have to go and we have to talk to our doctors. We have to do our own research. We Google everything else. Google it. The information about these vaccinations. We're in the information age. They're not hiding the information. They're not giving people shots in dark alleyways in secret. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they're doing. People they're taking public areas and they have drive-up vaccination sites in some states where people can come get the vaccination. I think when they first started doing it, they were telling people just to stay in the parking lot, for at least 15 minutes in case you have some adverse reaction. Because it's not so much as there's the danger of the vaccine, but because the vaccines, and this is why I say do your research. You could be allergic to one ingredient that's in the vaccine. The vaccine could be helpful, but you could have an allergic reaction. You know what I'm saying? So people take that and they blow that up into thinking, oh my God, they got to monitor you for 15 minutes. Well, yeah, you're getting shot with something you didn't research. You don't know what's in it. Just like when you hear medication commercials. And it always sounds funny to me when they say, don't take this particular medicine if you're allergic to it. How do I know if I'm allergic to it? This is a new medication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do I know if I've never taken it before? And I have to take it to see if I have an allergic reaction. That's why they say when you take the medicine, don't leave right away because you may have an allergic reaction, and the medical staff is on standby to help you in case you do have an allergic reaction. Because it's not just like it's water. It has a bunch of different types of medicines combined to make this particular vaccination. So we have to be very intelligent about it. Like I said, you have to weigh. It's a lot to weigh. It's not just jumping in line like they're passing out free cheese and everybody can get some.
Mm-hmm.
You need to research because the quite naturally, if there's something in the vaccination that you got to take twice, it could be something in there that you can't take.
Right.
The one that you take once, that could be the one that you need to take, and vice versa. The one that you could take in one shot, you might have an allergic reaction to because something's in there, or the amount your body might can't handle that amount all at one time. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to consider. We got conspiracy theorists that just think that, hey, it's a plot by the government. They trying to get us. and rightfully so, to have that kind of thinking as well. When we by history we know what they have done to us as minorities, putting us in these experiments, giving us diseases to see how it's going to affect. But you also got to remember, this is not a isolated incident of vaccinations.
Right.
This is a worldwide vaccination going on. You know, we know that this was developed in a lab, and it's going to take the lab to cure this mess. Because just like many things that the government has developed, it gets away from them. You know, it's not something that you can easily or readily control. So it is what it is. It's here. We done lived through 2020,
Right.
COVID. It took a lot, thousands, whether they were elderly or sickly or not. Thousands have died from COVID-19 virus. That's a fact. That's not speculation. That's not fake news. People are dead. We personally know people who have lost people. I'm sure you know people, if you're not the person themselves, who have lost loved ones due to COVID. So it is real. Now, am I panicked about it? No, but I know it's real. I'm not panicked about global warming, but I'm sure to some extent it has some validity to it. It's real, you know. But validity, there's some validity to it. There's some validity. So, you know, we have to be wise. We have to be smart. Definitely, you want to do your research. You want to find out which vaccination are you taking, and is there anything in that particular vaccination that you may have an allergic reaction to that may not work with the meds you're taking now. You need to talk to your doctor if there's underlying health issues. If you don't know, if you think you got some underlying health issues, I suggest you go get checked first before you jump in the vaccination line, because you could have something going on that you need to address before you try to jump in the vaccination line. So it's a lot to think about, to uh, contemplate, and to decide. You know, and definitely you need to talk with healthcare professionals and find out, ask the questions. You know, I mean, ain't no rush. You know, it's not like this is the life-saving serum to turn back you from being a zombie or something. We're not at the end of the world. You know, so you got time to research and find out what's going on. You got time to research and see what is actually being administered in your area, because some areas are going to get one vaccination, other areas are going to get another vaccination. So far, I've heard of at least 3 different vaccinations that are becoming available, and I think they're just about to release it to the public in South Carolina. I think that starts next week, Monday, from what I've heard today. So, and a lot of times you have to go to your doctor to get the shot in some areas. They're not doing like you're seeing on the news. News is showing where they got public drive-throughs where you can just go and they're setting up so you can get the shot. But that's different from state to state as well. So just because they're doing that in one state, don't mean that's the way it's going to be administered in your state. So definitely, we gotta research these things. We gotta take a look at what's going on, and you may have to go to a different area. The shot that's coming to your area might not be for you. You know, it might not be for you, but you definitely, once you find out the ingredients, then you look those up and see what those are, and make sure it's not something that's going to be adverse to your health situation. So we definitely got to take a look at these things and find out what's what when it comes to these things. It's more to consider than just conspiracy. It's more to consider than just your health situation. It's a combination of all these things. A combination of these things are going to determine whether you should or shouldn't take the shot. It comes down to an individual situation. Now, I'm under the feeling that once they do administer as much as they need to administer, or they feel that we're at a safe level, I believe that this vaccine is going to become a part of normal vaccinations. Because in the days, if you look at the history, we take vaccines for a number of things that used to kill us, from mumps to measles to chickenpox. Those vaccines that we have to take our children to on a regular basis at certain ages, those are vaccines that for smallpox and different things, same viruses and diseases that used to kill us.
Laura baby had the smallpox.
You're talking about Little House on the Prairie. Yeah. Anyway, those same diseases and viruses that used to take us out, uh, plagues and different things that went on in history. So they had to develop vaccines. So this is not something new. We really looking at this like, oh my God, this is it's not nothing new. This is the history of the world. And the things that used to when settlers were trying to get out here and slaves were being broken, the simplest things were killing us because we had no vaccination and no our immune system couldn't handle. Just going to a new country could kill you. Drink. That's why I tell you when you go certain places, don't drink the water. Yeah, everybody else in the country, their body has already built up immunities to their water. You go drink the water and you fall over dead.
Drink that lead.
You ball up because your body ain't built up an immunity to that. So we got to understand we can't be ignorant to information, and information is so abundant. We just got to take advantage of going and getting the information to find out what's going on. We need to find out what these things are all about, and then decide when you get all the information, then you can make an intelligent decision for yourself, whether you need it or don't need it. So this is why we're encouraging you to find out the information so you can decide whether this vaccination is something you do or do not need to take. I might not need to take it, but I might have a sickly elderly grandparent that definitely needs to take it. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody cough on them and they gone, they out of here. So yeah, you want it to definitely get to those who would need it, who definitely need to take it. So we got to make sure that we are being very smart and intelligent about it. If you don't need it, then don't take it. If you need it, then take it. But at the same time, if you're needing or you're waiting on it, be patient. Remember, this is the world. They're trying to vaccinate the world. Other countries are trying to vaccinate. I read a story where there's a small team of doctors and nurses, like there's only 4 of them, out in the northern parts of Alaska, that like they got snowmobiles because they're trying to deliver the vaccine to people who are in remote areas that you got to go out your way to get to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this vaccination is the world. It's not just America. We know how we can be, like we feel entitled. It's not just for the Carolinas. It's not just for your town, your city, but they're trying to get this vaccination out to the world. And it's not like they got a stockpile of it. They're making it as quickly as they can and getting it out as quickly as they can. So it's being made up as we speak. They are producing it as we speak. It's not like they got a bunker full of it and all they need to do is ship it out. Because I hear people say some of the silliest things when they're talking about it or when they think about it. Even when I watch the news, just the way we are in our mind, we're thinking one thing that just is to me, for lack of a better word, it's just ridiculous the way we think about some of these things, because we got this drive-through mentality. We want what we want now. It should be ready. Not only should it already be ready, but it should be fresh as well. You want it right now. You don't want to wait. You want it fresh, but you want it ready when you get to the window. I mean, either I'm going to make this thing on your way coming or I'm going to have it already made. We ask a lot, especially us as Americans. We ask for a lot, and we expect a lot. We are very selfish and self-entitled. We feel like this is the way it's supposed to be. I need my vaccination. Forget everybody else. Just give me mine. This is how our mentality is. But in a situation, that's why I like when they say the words global pandemic, because that reminds us this is a global pandemic. I don't care who created it. We all dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot we deal with that came out of labs. But once they release it and it gets loose, we all got to deal with it. It's just like if I got a dog, if I got a crazy dog and he gets loose, now the whole neighborhood got to deal with that dog. Because you got to protect yourself from this fool dog that done just broke out my fence and is terrorizing the neighborhood. That's what COVID is like. It's like that wild dog that done got out the lab, but we all dealing with it. It has taken lives, and that's the serious part about it, that it has taken lives. So those that need it, I implore you, if you find out that you need it, then go get it. If that's your decision, go get it. If you feel like you don't need it, it's not something that you need to deal with, don't bother with it then. It is what it is. I would encourage people not to detour or or block anybody else from getting it if they feel like they need it. Like I said, it's America. We have a free choice. Those that want to get it, go get it. You don't need to be out there trying to stop people. You don't be out there trying to spread your rhetoric about why they shouldn't take it. We didn't come on here to try to tell people don't take it, because I don't know. I don't know what you need. So I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, you better not take it, because I don't know your health issues. I don't know if it's going to help you or harm you. So I have no desire to tell people what to do or how to do it. But I tell you to get your facts and information from reliable sources. That don't mean sit around the table with mama and them. Don't nobody know nothing about it, but everybody giving their opinion on it. Somebody needs to pick up a book or use the right words in the search engine to find the facts out. Somebody needs to go to the real science websites and not the gossip websites where everybody just giving all kinds of crazy opinions about it, because it is what we have to deal with. And if we're ever going to get back to a sense of normalcy, a sense of a place where we feel safe and secure again, then we're going to have to deal with the issues at hand. Just like Joe Biden coming into this new presidency, he has to deal with it. He didn't create COVID, but he got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris didn't create it, but she got to deal with it. This is the president and vice president of the United States for the next 4 years. So they're going to have to deal with it the same way Obama had to deal with the economy. He didn't make the economy bad when he got the seat, but he had to deal with it. He didn't create terrorism, but he had to deal with it. We have to deal with it. It's 2021, and just because the calendar flipped a new page don't mean everything on the old page is done. We got to deal with it. We have to deal with it. So it's something that we need to be talking about. You know, just like today when we went out to the grocery store to shop, and we were in Sam's and we were in Walmart, we didn't really have a choice to put a mask on. Some places you go, you're not going to get a choice. It's like if you want to do business here, these are the rules that we have. So you might be on a job that says you have to wear your mask, or you have to, 6 feet social distancing, or some of your jobs may require you to get the vaccine, depending on the type of job that you have. And you might not, if you signed on to that job, there's handbooks and rules and regulations, and they leave areas that cover things like this. Because if they come out with a rule that say all of our employees, we need to make sure all our employees are vaccinated, and you are an employee of that company, you ain't gonna have a leg to stand on to say, well, I'm not getting no vaccination, because either you're gonna get the vaccination or you can no longer work here. No, we can't make you get the vaccination, but you are choosing to terminate yourself.
Right.
You have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? We have to take these things into consideration and be logical about it. We can talk all the crap we want. We can cuss up a storm about what we ain't gonna do, but either you're gonna do what that job is requiring you to do, or you're gonna find yourself a new job. So there are a lot of situations and everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. Like I said, I wouldn't just run out the door and jump in the first line I saw talking about this, the vaccine line. So I wouldn't suggest you to do that. But some people have to get in the line depending on their situation, whether it be health, economic, locale, whatever it is, whatever your reasons, you got to take a long, hard look at your own personal situation and make an intelligent decision. And it's not an intelligent decision until you're properly informed. So make sure you become properly informed so that you can make an intelligent decision, not just for yourself, but for your entire family. This is something that you need to make a decision for the entire family. Now, us, like I said, we don't plan on taking it. We don't plan on it. But I don't know what situation. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a prophet. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to come down the pipe. A lot of times I say, I ain't wearing no face mask. And then I go up and try to get up in Walmart, and they say, sir, you can't come in there without a face mask. So I turn my little happy self around and either find me a face mask. I believe me and Deacon Jenkins went to the store one night. I think that night we were in North Charleston. And I didn't have my mask because I used to keep it in the pocket of my pants, and I had a different pair of pants on. But we were driving Doc Quell's car. Doc Quell had one mask in the car. So he had to go get his wick. I wanted to pick up some things, but I didn't pick up no things that night. You know what I did? I sat my happy self in the parking lot till he finished getting his wick and stuff and came out. So I couldn't go in. So we got to adhere to whatever the laws of the land might be.
I'm looking at. I was trying to find some top stories. And I was saying Kevin Durant pulled from the game twice due to COVID-19 concerns. What you gotta say about that?
Well, they've been canceling games left and right and postponing games since the NBA season kicked off on the I think it was the 22nd of December. They kicked into the regular season. They didn't have a long break because they were in the bubble all last season to finish out last NBA season. So since this NBA season, every week when I do my sports report, at least one or two games, sometimes up to three games, have been postponed. I think they had an outbreak still was going on in Memphis, where the Memphis Grizzlies play, and they postponed about three of their games in a row. And I think they just had their first game after them postponements a few days ago, and they just started playing again. So if those how the NBA does it, if those members of the NBA, those basketball players, are caught breaking their protocols, that means physical, not distancing themselves, not wearing their mask. They make them go through testing, and they have to pass so many tests for so many days before they're allowed to play. So they do. The NBA is very serious about it. I don't know how the NFL was doing it, which they weren't as tight as the NBA has been on testing and making sure that things are done right for the safe players. Like some games, even when you read it, some cities allow a certain number of people, fans, into the games, and some still are not allowing any. So it just depends on where the games are being held. And I think that's no more than right to be smart about it. If you can protect people's health, what I'm saying, we can enjoy the games by watching it on TV. If we can go, we can go. If we can't, we can't. But just like this Super Bowl, they're taking a lot of precautions. They're going to be handing out masks. It's mandatory masks. They're separating the seating. They're already putting blocks over certain seats. So they're already managing on where the people are going to sit and the distancing they're going to have. So it's going to be a lot of not just security, but health security is going to be on point for this game as well. And most, like I said, and they're doing that. And most of the people that are going to be there are already vaccinated. Have already been vaccinated, either one half of the vaccination or a whole of the vaccination. So a lot of the people in the medical field who they've been giving free tickets to come and enjoy the Super Bowl, they're being vaccinated. Though most of those people are already vaccinated. So, and they're still going to practice those precautions. So just like you said, it's going to be that way for a while, even after all the vaccination has technically been taken care of. It's still going to be a feeling of, I don't know. People still going to be like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep this mask on a little longer because I'm just not sure. So some people are like that. I mean, just like you said, you look at China's been like that for years. Every time I seen a picture of China, somebody was wearing a mask. Not everybody in the frame, but most people had on some type of mask, and they're just going about their daily business. If that's what makes you comfortable and you got to do what you got to do for your own health. Like I said, if I had some serious issues and I had to be around people like that, I probably would have to be in close proximity. I mean, if I'm close enough to feel your breath on me and you're a stranger, I'm like, yeah, you might need to back up. I mean, because if most people like me, I got to spit him out. And I be talking, a little, some time.
What?
So, So if you want to be all up in my face and have a full blown conversation, you might feel a little something every now and then. I just being honest. So I don't deal with people right up in my face anyway. I got a personal space that I try to protect my personal, anyway. So like I said, that's why I don't feel a need, because I don't be all up on people like that. I don't even when I cut hair, but I'm standing behind the person. So it's still not an issue because I'm not face to face with the person.
But
Now-
you still have your mask on.
No, because I
You
cut.
can bring the COVID in here.
No, because most of my clients have already, they're taking their precautions when they come. If they want to wear the mask, they can. I can't work with a mask on like that. If I had to, I would have to make it so cold here. Now when I get my little shop open, I probably will, because then I can maintain my temperature in there. I can't maintain my temperature there because you always cold.
Yep.
So it stay hot in here. I would pass out trying to wear a mask in here all day because I would overheat myself. Now in my own environment, my own area, it'd be very different. And then when I do that, I'll be having more of a walk-in clientele. So yeah, I probably would wear a mask.
Pass out like.
I already wear gloves. I've been wearing gloves for years, so the glove part is no problem. So, but I probably would wear the mask, but I would definitely have it cool enough where it wouldn't bother me.
You like pass out and hit the floor.
What is that? That's hit the blow?
Yeah.
What's hit the blow? Do they hit the blow? But they ain't got to do with it.
I don't know.
Anyway, but that's what we're talking about today, because that's the big topic is these vaccinations. So we couldn't act like it's not going on. This is what's going on in the world today. It's Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow. That's all they're talking about, other than the game itself. These vaccinations are a big deal, because until it's done, we're never going to get back to any type of normalcy until we get these vaccinations administered to at least, I would say, 90 to 95% of the world. I got to keep reminding myself, this is the world. It's crazy to think that this is something that it's not a small group here or a small group there, but it's literally a vaccination that is for the world. That's why I say I do not believe that this is not going to become a part of the normal vaccination process, that our children's children will be administered during their course of their vaccinations to get in school and different things like that. I'm sure this is going to become a normal part of vaccination, especially when you to look at it on a global scale like this. Yeah, we can pretty much get ready to accept that. You might not take it, but I promise you, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, going to wind up taking that vaccine. It's going to become a normal part of vaccination.
Well, actually, you can go down to like the Department of Health. And so, DHEC, if I'm not mistaken, somebody can correct me, but I think somebody told me you can go down there and sign the paperwork and say that you don't want, it's against your belief to have your children take all those vaccinations, and they don't have to take them. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. You can sign the paperwork and say that you don't want them to take any of it.
Oh, there you go then. So it's still voluntary. It's still voluntary, but you got to have the paperwork in order. Yeah, so they can't tell you can't come to school. You got to have the paperwork so that if something happens, then you're liable. It's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened to your child catch smallpox and die at the lunch table, you can't sue because you didn't want them to take the vaccination. So, like I said, it's a two-sided thing. That's for sure. It is a two-sided thing. So we have to just all that's a part of the education process of educating yourself as to what you can and can't do and what's going on, so you can know what it is you can do and can't do. So we're coming up on the first hour. We're going to take our break here, and we're going to come back in a little bit with some more conversation. Remember, we want you guys to join in on the conversation. So be a part of what's going on. Join in and be a part of this COVID vaccine conversation. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back.
Like we're two gangs trying to fight and lost the time. When all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things. Cause that's the only way to maintain good. Sometimes we get stuck on our own. love. Good love. To me is very much. Listen, gonna take a listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. No way. And even though sometimes it was hard, we stayed together and fell apart. Now we can sit back and laugh of all the things we didn't have and how far we came a long way. But we have got to thank for that, and I'm glad you stood by me even when I was in myself. You still know me better than anyone. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Good love to every sweating us. Listen, when I came and listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. To walk away. And even though sometimes it was hard, we stayed together. We didn't fall apart. Good love. Sometimes we get stuck on our own love. Good love to every sweating us. Listen, gonna take a listen to one another. We made it this far. Because we wanted to make it this far. To walk away. And even though sometimes it was hard, we stayed together. We didn't fall apart. Ups and downs. Ups and downs. We've been together, seemed like forever, and I wanna spend another lifetime. 'Cause it don't get much better, don't care about the weather. Oh, as long as I'm with you, I'm safe and warm. I'm happy that I'll spend the rest of my life with you. It ain't been easy, but we make it through our ups and downs. It ain't been perfect, but we've all. And I love you more after all that. Life ain't perfect, but we've all. And I love you more after everyone. So come on, dance with me, baby. Just wrap your arms around me, baby. Hold on tight like the first time I met you. Oh, since that day, been right beside you. You showed me, baby, you were right. So honey, I'm right into the sunset with you. Oh, and I'll spend the rest of my life with you. It ain't been easy, but we'll make it through all the. It ain't been perfect, but we're both. And I love you more after I'm done. Life ain't perfect, but we're both. And I love you more after everyone. conquer anything. You are the melody that makes my heart sing. I'm in every word that's where you rock my last name. I swear that I love you. It ain't been easy, but we make it through all the. It ain't been perfect, but we both. And I love you more after other. Nothing perfect, but we both. And I love you more after everyone. And I love you more after everyone. I'm really worth it while you rock my last name. I swear that I love you.
And we are back. Love, Marriage, and Ministry. Broadcast social media talk show. And it is a talk show. That means you are invited to be a part of the conversation by just giving us a call. I got the wrong number up there. I don't know how I did that. 2315. 648-2315. That's 843-648-2315 is the number to call to be a part of the show. Oh, no, that's the right number. I don't know what I was looking at. 648-2315. That's correct. So let's get into the conversation. We appreciate you guys being either listening to us live or catching this on the replay. We appreciate you. If you're listening to this East Coast or West Coast, we appreciate you. It doesn't matter. We thank God for you being a part of the conversation here. First hour, we were talking about the COVID vaccine and everything that's going on and being educated about the vaccine and what's going on with it. We're in a brand new year, second month of a brand new year. This is Valentine's month. This is Black History Month. How do you feel about the Black History Month? They got a lot of, not as much Black History talk as they used to, but I do see a lot of the, since there's so much streaming and different things, a lot of the streaming services are showing a lot of Black movies. They got an awesome little 2020 did a special for T'Challa. What's the man's name? Spaz. Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman. I watched that. It's on I want to say Hulu. It could be Hulu, but it's the 2020 special. They talked to Felicia Rashad and almost all the cast of. You did? I had just seen it for the first time where they talked to all the different members of the Marvel Universe, the different superheroes that played actors.
Iron Man and all that.
Yeah. Well, I that was just the first time I saw it. I watched it the other day. A lot of movies and they're coming up. The Black Lives Matter movement and everything, it made a big impact for 2020. They say a lot of things went wrong in 2020, but I think a lot of good things came out of 2020 as well. And a lot more focus and emphasis on the fact that we need to come together. We need to unify. We need to have a better attitude and a better understanding of different peoples and having differences and different things like that. So that has changed a great deal after all of the craziness of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 with the all the things that went on at the Capitol at last month. Beginning of the year just started off kind of crazy with the rioting, and from my understanding, they're still arresting people for that, which why they couldn't arrest them while they were doing it, I have no idea. Now there's an investigation that they gotta go find them now, so they were able to just go home, get in their cars, or get back on the planes because many of them traveled to DC, and now they have to go find them.
You were asking me a question and now you're talking about something else.
What did I ask you?
Exactly. You asked me about Black history, and now you're talking about the Capitol.
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead. Black History Month.
I don't know.
Go.
what I want to say is I don't want to be, and maybe this might not sound right to other people, but I don't want to be overwhelmed by, people of different races trying to seem like they try to make up for, the wrongness that they've been doing to, African Americans, Black people, colored people, whatever you want to call them, for years and years and years. I feel like, this 2020 and 2021 isn't when Black movies were just coming out. They've been out for years, and I feel like we shouldn't have waited until all these incidents and different things that took place to happen for people to be recognized, in their culture, their race. There's nothing we can do about our skin type, about our skin color, or anything that we don't have any control over that. We don't have any control over, how we were brought into this world. We don't even have control over our sex and gender and different things like that. So if you're African American, Caucasian, Hispanic, Latina, Latino, Asian, whatever, your race is, you didn't have a choice with that. And just like we didn't have a choice with being African American. So I don't want to be overwhelmed by people of other races saying, well, we're going to do this for Black history. And I don't want to, I don't want to sound, and the dances that, I say Black dances that we see most Black people, oh, woe is me, I'm so sorry, that my people acting this way, and what can I do to help? Man, like for years, these movies could have been put on these different networks, or they could have been put on or placed on or been playing on, because these actors and some of these movies and shows that they have, out now, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Tubi, whatever the channel is, these people still people at the end of the day, and they could have still been getting paid. They could have been still living their life like some of the other people of other races, And so just don't want to be overwhelmed by, it seems like people trying to make up for all of the bad things that took place, to Africa. And as far as Black History Month is concerned, it's been Black History Month for some years now. And, if we still, as people who have children in school and they still only learning about the march that Martin Luther King did, Dr. Martin Luther King did, or Rosa Parks sitting on the bus, and that's all they learning about, then what are we really teaching our kids about Black history, when it comes out to school? Because it's so much more to it with what we've contributed to America as a whole, what we've contributed to the world as a whole, as, Black people, African Americans, whatever we want to, be categorized as. So, I feel like we've done a whole lot. We've, how you say, when we patent stuff, we've developed things, made things, and weren't even able to keep our own patents and different things like that. We had our own land, and people came in and bombard and push us out of that. And so we've been doing or being a contribution to society for a long time, and to be getting recognized, is a good thing. But I don't want it to be an overwhelming thing where I just feel like, oh God, don't worry me to death. Don't apologize no more. It is what it is. Once we know what we've done wrong, or how we've been treating people wrong, or we see how society or the world treats us differently than they treat other people. Now you see, what we're going to do about it. How are we going to fix it? How are we going to help, that have been struggling for years to even build their credit? How are we going to help them to get themselves together? How are we going to help them who've been working for 20, 30 years and they still living from paycheck to paycheck? How are we going to help them, or what are we going to change for the people who don't have that education like other Americans of different races and stuff like that? And as far as they went was 4th grade or 5th grade, when there's some people went, finished high school, finished college, and all that kind of stuff, So I celebrate Black History Month. We are some phenomenal people. Whether anybody else of any other race tells us that or not, we are some phenomenal people, and we do phenomenal things. And so, I don't want to feel like it anymore that I have to work triple time to receive a pay that some of my coworkers of a different race may be doing. I don't want to feel like, because when I go to a car dealership and I know, let's say you and me, we go to the car dealership. I'm African American, you of another race, and because we got the same credit score, we work on the same job, but because I'm African American, I still got to come back with 1,000 pieces of paperwork. I got to come back with a co-signer. I got to come back with this big old down payment. And all you had to do was be like, oh, well, you got your credit is such and such. Well, just go ahead on and put $500 down. The car is yours. Your payment is like $200 a month. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be still feeling that way. So if what we're going to do is, do something different with life, with society, with America as a whole, then let's just go ahead and do it. We gotta not just talk about change, but continue to make change. I'm pretty grateful for the progress and I'll say the doors that have been opening thus far for African Americans. I'm grateful for it. I may not be the celebrities that are being recognized finally, but I'm still one in the number. I'm still grateful about the work and different things that's taking place, because it's my brothers and sisters, and of African American race or descent and different things like that. But it is what it is. Black History Month is Black History Month. We don't want to just celebrate it for 1 month. I'm celebrating Black history all the time because I am Black history. My family is Black history. So I just want people to understand that we don't just want to talk about it just for the month of February. February is over with. So is Black history. Because Black history is forever. We know if we go outside and we drive in our car and we stop at the light, you just stopped at Black history. If we go in the bathroom and we use the toilet, you just sat on Black history. If we go in different stores and things like that and purchase some products, you just purchase some Black history. So I don't want it to seem like, once February is over, Black history is over, because Black History Month will never be over for me.
Amen. I agree. Because it and that's what I think I'm liking about some of the things that I'm seeing now, especially through 2020 coming into 2021, where these companies and these different businesses who gave us no kind of attention and could care less what we thought and how we felt about it, are now making moves to not just, I don't need somebody to apologize to me all day. Do something. So I look at a lot of things that I'm seeing now as companies doing something. Doing something for the employees of color, doing something because, like I said, I don't work in the entertainment industry, but I'm sure those that do, those that have been acting for years and been in that field their whole life, to now seeing their fruits of their labor and start seeing a little more exposure of their work is a good thing. And I thank God for that. I thank God because remember, coming up,
I couldn't get it to go up, guys.
Coming up, when I was young, like I said, I'm 50. So I remember when there was only 3 stations. There was ABC, NBC, and CBS. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and if they all run by racists, we ain't had no presence.
Nope.
On TV and like that. So now there's so many different mediums, not social media, you know what I'm saying? YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and then all these streaming services that a lot more minorities are have a hand in what's being created and how it's being distributed. So I see that is a good thing, and we definitely nowhere near have we made it, but we have to continue to push the boundaries. We have to continue to push the boundaries, and I believe that that strides are being made, and we'd be amiss to not recognize the strides that are being made, because it's different. When it used to be Black History, it used to be the same old Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? You hear the same names over and over and over and over and over. But nowadays it's different. It's different, and that's what I'm noticing, that it's different. And I definitely want it to continue. I don't want it to just stop where it's at. I want it to continue, and we have to. It's up to us, of people of color, to continue to push, to get recognized, to make sure we're pushing. That's why when it was voting season, while we were talking about, it's not voting now, because like I said, we done had the presidential election. Now everybody go home and won't vote for another 4 years.
Yeah.
But what about your local elections? What about the people that are actually running things in your county, in your city? You know, you still got to vote for your mayor, vote for your sheriff, vote for the people that are going to directly affect you. Because if you allow those people to still remain racist, it doesn't matter what they're doing out in D.C. They still gonna be busting your head in Smallville, USA. They still gonna be knocking you upside your head and shooting you in your back in Littletown, California. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we are involved in the process. That's when we can't sit back and say, well, y'all need to do better by us. We need to get involved because we are a part of America. It's like you say, you're sitting on Black history, you're walking through Black history, you're stopping at Black history. But Black history is history because we were a part of it, even though we were forced to be a part of it. Now we have a choice. Either I can be a part of it, or I can go home and just act like it just don't exist. But that's not going to affect change. So if we want change, if we want it to be more than just a month, then we got to be in the process and make sure we continue to infiltrate and saturate the media. We have to be a part of it. We have to become so much of a part of it to where they look around and say, you know what? We the minority. It's more of them than it is of us. And most times it's like that. On a plantation, the slaves are the majority. They're not the minority. They're the majority. But when we have a minority mindset, when we think like minority, we think that we are the minority in the situation, then that's how we're going to act. I don't consider myself a minority. I don't feel like I'm a minority. I don't think like I'm a minority. I don't talk nor act like I'm a minority because I don't know that has no bearing on me. It does not reflect who I am. It doesn't reflect how I raise my family and my children. It doesn't reflect how I handle my business. So we have to come out of the mentality of Black History Month. And what I mean by that, giving us the shortest, littlest month of the year, and we say that's good, and we're proud of that. I'm not proud of Black History Month because just like my wife just said, we 365 days a year we Black. So we don't just affect history in February, and then half of that is taken away because it's Valentine's Day. That's slap dab in the middle of the month. Then I think President's Day or something else is in there, and so there's so much things that take the focus off of it even being so-called Black History Month. But if we don't continue to be a part of the process, push the envelope, how we going to change things? How we going to get it to be any better if we're not a part of it? If we're not in there, if we don't go in the room, we can't be a part of the decision making. So we got to make it into the room. And if we're in the room, we definitely got to speak up. We got to raise our hand. We got to have an opinion, and we got to be a part of it to get the change. Because like I said, it might not change in my generation, in my lifetime, but I push as much as I can push so my children can take up the baton when I'm done. And they got to push as much as they can push so their children can take up the baton when they're done. So, and this is how we got to where we are now. Because if not, we'd still be in the field somewhere. We'd still be slaving from sun up to sundown. We still wouldn't have the right to vote. We still wouldn't know how to read. We still wouldn't be able to get certain jobs. We still wouldn't be able to live in certain places. We'd still be sitting at the back of the bus. We'd still be eating and picking up our food from the back side of the building. You know what I'm saying? All the things that were imposed, that were laws at one time, somebody had to fight to get past that. So we can't sit and be complacent and accept everything that's going on instead of not being a part of it. We have to be a part of it. If it's ever going to change and it's ever going to be fair, if it's ever going to be right and righteous, then we have to be in it. We have to be a part of what's going on. And that's a part of the political process, a part of the police force. If you think if we don't join the police force, if our people don't join the police force and we just keep letting them come and police us, what do you think? You think it's going to change? The only way it's going to change is if we in there. We got to get in there to change it. Certain area, we had to start playing golf to produce a Tiger Woods. We had to start playing tennis to produce Venus and Serena. You know what I'm saying? These were sports that they wouldn't even allow us to play. We had to start playing basketball to produce Michael Jordan and LeBron James and all the other great basketball players and football players. Whatever the sport is, you know, they had control of it. Now I ain't saying they invented it, but because they have control of it. But we are taking back control by being a part of it, where it's an even playing field. Because I remember for years, decades, they kept saying we'll never have a black president. They ain't never gonna be no black. They ain't never gonna be no black president. But if Barack had accepted that mentality, he wouldn't even try. He wouldn't even run. There's still yet today. I think Georgia just elected their first the governor or whatever of the state. First black elected official going to Capitol Hill for the state of Georgia. It's 2020. But this is, you know what I'm saying? The same day that they announced that was the same day they was tearing up and wrecking in the Capitol. So, but there's still states and areas that have never even elected an official of color. So we ain't too far, you know, we ain't out as far as we think. We doing good, but we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. We can't just accept and say, well, that they going to do what they want to do. They going to do whatever. No, they going to do whatever as long as we don't show up.
Yeah.
Of course, because we ain't there. They're going to do whatever they want to do at the party because you refuse to come to the party because you feel like that ain't my cup of tea. It got to be somebody's cup of tea because we got to get in there and break that mess up. We got to. So we got to push. And that's what it's about. If we satisfied with Black History Month, then that's the mentality we're gonna have. I'm not satisfied. It's good, but let's keep going. What else? What's next? What else you gonna give me? You apologize? Okay, good. Now what you gonna do? What you gonna do to show me? Because that's just talk. So we got to keep moving. Like I said, I do appreciate the strides and the accomplishments that we have made as a people, but I know we still have a long way to go, and we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. This is momentous because we had our black president. Now we got our first Asian and black at the same time vice president, first female. You know what I'm saying? Because females have to fight just as hard as a minority. They're considered by white America standards as a minority. Everybody's a minority unless you a white man. I don't understand how everybody else is a minority. How is that? Even all women are a minority. It doesn't even make sense. But we accept that. We accept it and say, yeah, I'm a minority. No, I am not a minority. There's way more of us. The Bible tells me there's more for me than against me. So I'm not a minority. If you think like you're a minority, if you tell yourself that, like I tell people all the time, it's not true until you say it to yourself. Anybody can say it to you, but it doesn't become true until you start saying it to yourself. Once you start saying it to yourself, now it's true to you. It's true to you. Just like old people. That's the same thing old people meant when they said, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to.
Yep.
When you answer to it, you're saying, this is who I am. When you answer to being a minority, that's when you're saying, I am a minority. I'm not a minority. I'm not. So you got to check out yourself on what you're answering to. Because many of us are answering to it. Even when you use the N-word. When we say nigger. If you say it and you prescribe to what the definition of the word is, then that's what you are. It's not like just you not saying it don't make it exist. It's your mentality. It's what you accept. is what you accept. Because in that state of mind, that's who accepts the 28 days of Black History, and we give up half of that for Valentine's. You know what I'm saying? We coming strong in the month. That first week, that second week, we trying to find heart-shaped candy boxes and roses. We ain't really trying to uplift and empower. We trying to get the candy and roses and be romantic. And then after that, the second half of the month, we just go on about life and wait for them, because they start passing out income tax on the 15th, day after Valentine's Day. So the second half of the month, you're looking for income tax. You checking your little app to see where your money at. WhereMyMoney.com. You want to know IRS.gov. Where my money at? So we get about a week. The first week of February is Black History. After that, distractions for the rest of the month. And now you're talking about another stimulus. We ain't thinking about no Black History. We ain't thinking about it. Like I said, it coming strong for the first week. After that, Valentine's take up the second week. They start doing income tax by the middle of the month. We done. We headed to Walmart to buy the new big flat screen TV. So we have to not only do better, but we got to teach the next generation. We got to pass on. We got to pass the baton the same way our elders and ancestors passed the baton. We have to make sure we're passing the baton. Like the foolishness that we're doing now as a culture, like the boy you showed me, the rapper with the thing in his head, when he implants some kind of jewel,
some kind of
diamond in his forehead. How stupid can you be? In your forehead, and you ain't even. I never. Is he famous? Because I ain't never heard.
Yeah, I forgot what the lady said the man's name was. I can look it up while you're talking.
Like, I mean, come on, man. We putting jewels slap dab in the middle for a diamond in your forehead. For what? What is the purpose? And you do that in Black History Month. Come on, man. That's what you're doing for Black History. Just making a fool of ourselves, man. I don't know. I don't understand it. With all that's going on, that's what you're doing with your, not only your time but your money. That's what you're doing. You're not trying. You got some type of career, I guess. You got some type of career. You have a platform. If nothing else, you do have a platform that you could be using in a much more positive way. But this is what you choose to do with your platform.
Lil Uzi.
That's Lil Uzi.
$24 million pink diamond.
Well, a name like Lil Uzi, what you expect? Lil Uzi, name yourself after a gun. So, you know, and this is the generation that's coming behind us. This is the generation that's poised at the precipice of taking over the world. These little Uzi thinking type minds. You think he's thinking about Black History Month? I doubt it. You think he's trying to uplift and Black Lives Matter the situation? I doubt it. But this is what our kids are listening to and following. And if it catches on, trust me, they're gonna be gluing something up there, attacking it up there as best they can to emulate and imitate this buffoonery. And that's all it is. For lack of a better word, it's buffoonery. And Lil Uzi has he's pushing the envelope. It's an envelope of stupidity, but he's pushing the envelope. Nobody else has done that before. I guess that's what he's thinking.
Right.
They ain't wait till they get a load of me. They think they shining. How much you paid for it?
$24 million.
So he got $24 million sitting up in his forehead. So when the robbers come, what you gonna say?
They dig a hole in your head to get it.
Remember on
Indeed.
Avengers, yes sir. When he grabbed up Vision, crushed his little skull to pull that jewel right out of his forehead. Okay. But for every Vision or for every little Uzi, there's a Thanos. Remember that now. There's a Thanos.
What?
Come and take it.
Stop, man.
Crush your little brain. Take that $24 million. You might as well take all your money out of the bank, put it on the knapsack, and wear it.
Yeah, pretty much. Or put it in your back pocket
That's just
and get on the
that's
subway.
just retarded. That is pure retardation. I can't even imagine. He can't be that famous. Can't be that famous. That's the dumbest anyway.
You gotta be where you get
$24 million dollars.
diamond from. You gotta have some money. You gotta be known. Just because we don't know him, that don't mean nothing.
No. $24 million diamond, and I'm gonna put it in my forehead. I ain't gonna put it on a pendant. I ain't gonna put it on a ring. Slap it straight to my forehead.
Yep. Make a statement.
Yeah, you gonna make a statement. And this is a whole ass. It's gonna be a statement. It's definitely gonna be a statement.
Or one at making a statement at the police station.
Yeah, statement gonna be taken one way or the other. That's for sure. And the things that people do, it makes absolutely no sense to me.
Right.
And like I said, and this is supposed to be Black History Month. This is supposed to be the month that we're focusing on uplifting and encouraging and pushing our race, our. But instead, we taking $24 million and putting it in our forehead, surgically putting it in our forehead, not gluing it. You ain't tag it up there, surgically embedding
How
it.
you gonna tack it?
I
You got
don't
no
know.
other way but to embed it in there. Or make it an
Put a
implant.
little glue up there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just drop off somewhere.
I'd rather drop on somebody, bust my head open and dig it out.
Well, hey, that man money. I mean, he could have given me a little bit of it, but whatever. But as far as anything else that has anything to do with Black History Month, even if our children aren't learning everything that we feel that they should be learning in school, whether it's virtual or they're at the school, we should be able to teach them something. I know I never, and it's probably sad to say, or I'm sure I'm not the only person, but I never even heard of knew anything about Juneteenth until last year. I never even heard of it. I didn't know what it was, and I'm like, it's Juneteenth, but it's a y'all don't even know word, And I had to go online, and I went and look it up and try to find out some information about it, and actually, my sisters and my brother and we trying to put something together for that day here at my house. So, I didn't even know it was such a thing. I didn't even know it was something to be celebrated. I simply never heard of it, and like I said, I'm sure I'm not the first person that didn't hear of it, but, and even if other people have heard about it and you're African American, then why haven't you been celebrating it? Why haven't you, put any kind of focus or emphasis on it? So, like I said, it's something we're trying to do, or something we want to get together. And if possible, it'll be something that we do every year, in honor of or in celebration for that time. So, it's a lot of things that I didn't learn in school about Black History Month, because back then in the 80s and 90s when I was in high school, only thing we could talk about was Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman. That's it. We don't know about all the other rest of people who was inventing things and different things like that. So if I was pretty much led to believe that we didn't do anything except be slaves and come over here, unwillingly, and come over here and work until, some of us died out or some of us tried to escape, so that's pretty much what I can remember about learning about Black history and different things like that at school. So that's why I say whatever we can teach our children, teach to them, and a lot of times they don't know. And they don't know all of the things that we've done, in the past, that's contributed to even right now. So teach your kids something, because 9 times out of 10, they're not learning everything that they need to know, or They don't need to tell me no more about how Ray Charles was blind when he was a little kid. Everybody had a lot of people not seen the movie. We saw the movie, so yeah, But tell me something about some people that invented and did the first open heart surgery and the first surgery to separate identical twins that were conjoined together. And we did those things. And so if we're not getting educated ourselves about it, then of course we'll be skeptical about telling our children about it because we don't really know for sure. So we got to get in education about it. And that's one of the reasons why, here at our church, at True Foundation, I love the fact that on second Sundays we have Heritage Sunday. So, excuse me, y'all. It's not African Attire Day, or it's not African Sunday. It's not what it is. It's Heritage Sunday. Because everybody that comes around is not African or African American or different things like that. So whatever your heritage is, and you have your attire, then we wear it on second Sundays to represent our culture. And we've been doing that for a few years now. And so I like that we do that, and I'm the one, or I'm the person that's like, okay, man, I love Heritage Sunday. I'm going to find me something different, something new. I don't want to wear the same thing all the time, not because I want to show off or show out my clothes, but because I want to look different every time, because I love Heritage Sunday. And so I go and I make sure I go find something, and if you know anything about the Heritage Festival in Beaufort, and they have it down there on St. Helena Island, they always have the people that come, the Africans that are there, and they have those authentic African wear and those skirts and dresses and shirts and bracelets and shea butter oil and different things like that. I love going to the Heritage Festival. I can sit out there all day long and sit down and watch the shows and eat and walk around and different things like that. But if you don't get into your heritage, into your culture, and if you don't get to finding out who you are, then we'll still be stuck in the same old place, not knowing who we are and not knowing how to celebrate who we are or who you are. That's why I made the comment earlier about Juneteenth. I'm looking it up. I've been studying it and trying to figure out what it is and how to do it properly. What is it that you're supposed to be doing? What do certain things represent and different things like that. So I'm trying to get it done, and have the whole little, I'll say, shindig here at the house. So we got to get to know ourselves, get to know your heritage, get to know your culture, get to know your family and different things like that. We as a people, we have to understand that family is so very important. Family is very important. Whether we get along with one another all the time, and 9 times out of 10, nobody just gets along every day, all day long with everybody. No. Family, we sometimes have our disagreements and our ups and downs and arguments, but at the end of the day, we still family. We still family. We still blood. We probably, some people probably saying, yeah, but I don't mess with my family like that. But okay, that's you. But not everybody thinks that way. Everybody don't feel like, oh, I'm messing with them like that. I'm messing with my family like that. I don't say that, because at some point in my life, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need somebody out my family for something. I'm going to need somebody to come and help me with something, and so that's one of the reasons why I'm like, when it comes down to unity and family and different things like that, I do what I have to do, to make sure that I'm good when it comes down to our family, or that, the atmosphere is good and environment is good and different things like that. I love everybody. and that's one of the reasons why I was like, okay, well, we're going to have to celebrate Juneteenth. We're going to have to look it up and see what's going on, see, how to handle the whole thing. So
You celebrating Juneteenth?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I told you that.
You said you and your sisters was getting together. That's what you said.
Where we gonna get together at? Where I say we was getting together at?
You didn't say.
Boy, you can feel.
So what is Juneteenth? You went through all that, but you didn't tell us what it is.
Hey, that's a whole nother thing. We gotta.
I mean, what it's about. I ain't tell you the detailed history of it.
I gotta get some more information about it.
So you don't know. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm down. Juneteenth, whatever it is, hey, let's go. I know what it's about though, but it
Okay,
is
then
good.
tell me. Then
No,
tell it.
no, Google it. It's like
I've already been doing it.
Well, then you should know. Then you should know. But it is an important Black History moment to celebrate. Worth celebrating for sure. So I'm with it. I'm with anything. I'm very woke with my culture. Yes, I'm with my culture. So if you with it, I'm with it. You want to do Kwanzaa, but I'll do Juneteenth then.
Right. Because I'm putting up my Christmas tree, buddy.
Yeah, nobody stops you from putting up the Christmas tree. Anyway, we're coming up on the time for us to get ready to wrap things up. We want to just encourage you guys. Remember that every first and third Saturday of the month, Saturday evening, we did start a little late today. We didn't make it back to the house in time to start on time, but we still put it out 2 hours in for Love, Marriage, and Ministry. Love, Marriage, and Ministry will also be airing on the new internet radio station on the West Coast, Dirty Balance Radio, in the same time slot on the second and fourth Saturdays, which is starting next month when they launch the DBR radio in California. So we're excited about that as well. We want to encourage you guys. We will be back in service on tomorrow. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Lions Den will be going on. Of course, our Sunday service. Tomorrow's first Sunday, correct? First Sunday tomorrow. So that means it's Communion Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, Communion Sunday. So we're definitely going to be enjoying service on tomorrow morning. So if you're not doing anything and you want to get up and join us through social media, you can do so. We have the Lions Den from 8:30 to 9. And then, of course, our normal service. We don't do all the bells and whistles, but when the word comes forth, we go back live, which is usually about 11 o'clock or so. Service starts at 10, Sunday school at 9, service devotional at 10, and then we go into our word round about 11 or so, and we go back in and go live at that time. So you can definitely join us for all that and much, much more on tomorrow. Looking forward to another beautiful Sunday. We're in February. Do we have any events coming up?
Not really. We don't.
Okay. Well, we are getting ready for our personal event when we are having a baby shower for our first grandbaby coming soon, and our daughter's having her baby shower in March. So we are definitely looking forward to that. But other than that, regular services are going on. Of course, Tuesday night Bible study is going on. I think Youth Minister Moon has Bible study for this month. I believe he's going to be able to continue and take us wherever he's going to take us to Bible study this month. You are more than welcome to join us on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. We usually go from 7 to 9 for Bible study on Tuesday nights. But we'll be back at you guys in the morning. Someone will be here for the Lions Den. I got to send out the assignments this evening. All that and much, much more. But we appreciate you guys. Join us not next Saturday, but the third Saturday of the month. Not next Saturday, but the following Saturday. We'll be back live on social media. And remember, if you're watching this on the replay, you can join us live 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right out of marvelous Moncks Corner, South Carolina, as we broadcast for Love, Marriage, and Ministry. And you guys got topics or anything that you want us to engage and talk about, you can send those topics in. You can either inbox my wife or myself. Charmaine, it says Charmaine Singleton Moon on the thing, but
because that's who she is.
We don't hyphenate. I don't know why she got that. That's the only place you'll see that is on her Facebook page.
Because that's who I am.
But anyway, or you can inbox me, of course. Give us a call, 843-263-9379 for more information. If you want to text us and pass on information or pass on topics that you would like us to discuss, we would definitely do that. And we appreciate you guys for coming through and being a part of the show on this evening. If it be the will of the Lord, we'll be back at you in the AM. God bless you and have yourself a marvelous night.
Like we're two gangs trying to fight and lost the time. When all we really need to do is listen to each other's views on things. Cause that's the only way to maintain good love, good love. Sometimes we get stuck on our own and love. Good love to every innocent must listen. Communicate but listen to one another. We made it this far. And we're going to make it this far. No way.